Our channel comes in 2 pieces, and the style depends on what type of kit you get. If you get the 12mm RGB lights, you'll get one that looks like this. If you get the 30mm RGBW lights, it'll be larger holes like this. But we'll just stick with this for now. The same instructions apply for any channel type. So they come in 2 pieces. There's a back side that should have a couple little holes on it. This will get mounted to your eaves or your soffit. And then the LEDs just go on the front side. They snap right in. And then this will just pop right on like this. And it just snaps on and is mounted to your eaves very nicely. Most people will mount the channel just as far to the edge of their eaves as they can. That gives you the most visibility from different angles on the street. So that's usually what we recommend. But if you want the walls on your house to light up a little bit more, especially if you're using the 12mm lights, the smaller ones, you can put them, I don't know, like 3 or 4 inches away from the wall. And to help get a straight line, we recommend you just cut a little guide piece using the back piece of the channel. And so you just want some straight tool, like a square like this, and then just like measure however long you want, like 3-4 inches or so. Draw a straight line, and then go down the edges as well. You want these to be as straight as you can so that when you cut it, it cuts pretty straight. If you have a miter saw, that is by far the easiest way to cut this channel. You can also use tin snips, which is what we'll do here. So to cut the channel, you just go like this, and then just cut it on one side, and then cut it on the other side. And then you can just bend it back and forth like this, and it'll eventually just pop off. And that's a pretty straight cut. This is why miter saws are a lot better, because it's a lot easier to get a nice, clean, straight cut. But anyway, so now you've got your guide piece, and let's just assume this box is the wall in your house. So you'll just want to just go along your house and just put it up against the wall, and then just mark on your soffit every, I don't know, a couple feet. If you have a chalk line, that would help a lot. But what that does, that will just give you a nice line that you can line your channel up with so that it's all nice and straight. When you start installing your channel with the LEDs in it, you'll want to overlap the back side that you mount with the front side. It'll just help make it look a bit more seamless that way. So instead of lining it up like this, you'll just want to overlap just an inch or two. It doesn't matter, just a little bit. It'll just help make it look a bit better. For cutting the channel, miter saws make it the easiest, as I mentioned before. Tin snips work, which is what we'll do here again. For a straight cut, what you want to do is, just like we did with the little guide piece, exact same thing. So just draw a straight line across it, and then draw a line down the sides. And then these, I attach them both just so I can cut them both in the same spot easier. And then we just cut it like we did before. So just cut that side, and that, and then the back piece, same thing. And then you just bend it back and forth until it breaks off. There's that piece. And the front or in the back piece. And there you go. And sometimes they'll bend out a little bit from cutting it. If that happens, just take some pliers and you can just bend it back a little bit so that they're a bit back to a bit straighter where they should be. And then let's see if these match up okay. And pretty close. Like, it's not ideal. Again, miter saws are your friend for this, but it works. If you have a 90-degree corner you need to get around, you'll just want to cut a couple pieces of channel with 45-degree angles on them. So just get a square, and just draw a line, and then go down the sides as well. And then you'll also want to make sure to get the back side too. Just make sure it's going the right way. Line up with that and go across. So you got lines going all around, and you just basically cut along those lines. And again, you just need to cut the outside pieces. Just cut there. And then cut there. And then on these, you might need some pliers depending on what channel you're using, but generally you can just bend it right there and it'll come off as a pretty clean cut. And then you just do the same thing with the back side. Cut there. Cut there. And then just bend it on that corner. And you might need to trim it up just a little bit, like there's a bit extra. I didn't quite cut it on the line. So we'll just kind of cut that straight across. It's a bit better. And then like this piece here bent out just a little bit, and that side bent in, so we'll just go around and try and fix those a little bit with the pliers. Oops, a little too much. Okay. And then I'll just, oh, sorry. And then I'll just snap together. Oh, I need to trim that too. Let me do that real quick. Okay, and then you basically just get another 45 piece that matches it. This one does not. And then you'll get a nice 45-degree angle there. And you can fill it with caulk or something just to make it look a bit more seamless if you like. If you need to cut some corners for gables, I recommend only using a miter saw for that. It's hard to get the cut straight with tin snips. And again, the angles for gables varies a lot, so you just need to make sure that you measure it correctly, which you can do a lot better with a miter saw. So gables would be basically if it's like this. So you'll just, if you don't have access to any of those tools, I usually just leave a gap like this, and then just run the cables between the gap. It looks fine for the most part. Most people are fine with it. You could also maybe just put some silicone over it or something like that. But if you want to do the actual angle cut so they butt up nicely, I recommend just only trying that with a miter saw to make sure that you get the angles correct. If you get to the end of your run and you want to cap it off, what most people do is just fill it with silicone that matches the channel color, or paint the silicone, just something to fill in the end. You can also just cut this and bend it down. So for that, we'll show you what to do for that. The first thing you want to do is just measure how tall the channel is. So this is about 3/4 of an inch tall on the inside dimensions. And so you'll take the top piece, the side with the holes, and measure 3/4 of an inch. And then we'll just mark the, well, yeah, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then same thing as before, you just get a straight line. We'll get a straight line, and then just mark the sides a little bit so you know where to cut. And then you just need to cut where that is, and then do the same on the other side. And then you'll need to cut off these little tabs as well. And it's better if you go a little bit on the inside if you can. Ooh, that's not a very straight cut. You'll want to try and get it straight too. That's not the best, but we'll see how it turns out. And cut off that tab. Cut off just a little more on the inside. Okay, and depending on the channel, you might want to use pliers, but you just bend it up. And then it'll kind of close it off like that. Again, like it takes a little bit of tweaking, but you can do it this way. And then once you snap the back piece on, it looks something like that. Either way, I recommend you use some silicone just to fill in any gaps. But this is one way you can do it. It takes some practice to get it good, but that's one thing you can do.